means freedom from many vices that society had traditionally believed to be virtues. Self-criticism, self-doubt, guilt. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not virtues. These are sins. Born of a fake morality implanted deep within our minds and collective consciousness by governments and religions through the ages, with the sole purpose of preventing the masses, stopping us from achieving the same success, happiness, and freedom enjoyed by those at the very pinnacle of society. I'm going to show you that common morality is nothing more than the cynical creation of an elite desperate to stay in power. An elite hell-bent on preventing you from reaching your full potential by making you feel guilty for pursuing success. But the good news is that you can take back control. You can become the success you deserve to be. Atlas will give you a unique and powerful advantage. Life in all its technicolor glory can be yours. All that you have to do is to stay, embrace it, enjoy it, and learn to love your ambition. Welcome to Atlas.
Well, that was odd. Looked like someone pickpocketing, but why make a video of it? A few more questions, if you don't mind.
What do you know about doll burning?
Not on the course. It's a ritual thing. It's Getting rid of things that you don't need. Throw it into the fire.
And that's a good thing.
Well, yeah, it helps you getting rid of things you don't need, so you can move on and take control again.
So what are the masks for?
They're just to help you get into the right frame of mind. Just get you into the zone, help with the trance.
A trance?
Yeah. It's like self-hypnosis. We do it on the course sometimes. It's just to help you get into the right frame of mind,
So you hypnotise yourself? How do you do that?
Just stare into a mirror and chant something, just say the same thing over and over again. Or you could just close your eyes and put yourself into a trance. Some people can do that.
And that's safe?
Well, yeah. Hypnosis doesn't work the way that most people think it does. You can't just be hypnotized if you don't want to be hypnotized. But you can learn to hypnotize yourself.
What did you say it was called? Auto-hypnosis?
Self-hypnosis, auto-hypnosis, same thing, really.
I think Simon was a bit too quick to play down the role of auto-hypnosis on the course. I'll have to ask around about this.
Have you seen this before?
No, sorry.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
What do you know about doll burning?
Doll burning, I think, was something that they did on the course. Simon mentioned it.
Oh, they didn't do that when you were there?
No.
Have you seen this before?
No? I don't think so.
Do you know what auto-hypnosis is?
It's some type of self-hypnosis, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you ever tried it?
No, I haven't. But I think Kate was into it. She learned it from when she went to Atlas.
And what did she tell you about it?
Not a lot, really. I think it helped her. I think she used it as a sort of self-meditation.
That's all for the moment. Thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind. What do you know about doll burning at Atlas?
Only that it's part of the course. I'm not entirely sure what they're for, but I made dozens for him.
You made them?
Oh, Ryan can't make anything. He's practically dyspraxic.
Do you know anything about this?
No, sorry. Ask Ryan.
Do you know anything about hypnosis used on the Atlas course?
Are you sure you mean hypnosis or the power of persuasion?
What's the difference?
Not a lot. But if you want someone to do something, it's usually easier to ask nicely.
Atlas used persuasion techniques.
Well, don't all businesses use it, Inspector? Ever heard of advertising?
Be back later on, if that's okay. Couple more questions, if that's okay. What can you tell me about doll burning at Atlas?
Not very much. It's one of Ryan's ideas. My son is under the illusion that he's a genius.
Seen this before?
The writing looks familiar, but no.
Can you tell me more about the auto-hypnosis techniques used on the course?
We don't use hypnosis on the course.
Not at all.
Not anymore.
So, how was it used?
Hypnosis is probably the wrong word, Inspector. It's nothing to do with the trances or things like that. It was meant to force... to help students.
Did you force them?
You can't force anybody into being hypnotized. You have to want to be hypnotized. It's not something out of your control. You can't be hurt or damaged in any way by hypnosis.
So you've never put pressure on students to enter into hypnosis?
It would be impossible to do so.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. A few more questions, please. Thank you.
What do you know about doll burning?
Doll burning? What sort of doll burning?
It doesn't mean anything to you.
No. Should it?
No, that's okay. Seen this before?
No, what is it?
Do you recognize it?
No. Should I?
Ever heard of auto-hypnosis, James? Self-hypnosis.
Yeah?
And what do you know about it?
It's another name for scrying. Some people call it auto-hypnosis, I call it scrying.
Right. So you're saying scrying is just self-hypnosis?
Scrying? You can scry on anything, I don't use a mirror. I can scry watching the clouds. Maybe the water on a lake in the moonlight.
And when you're watching the water, what happens? You go into a trance?
You lose yourself in your unconscious. You go deeper and deeper, you swim around. Try not to go too deep, because if you go too deep you start drowning. Then you get dragged down to the bottom. As long as you stay swimming, come to the surface again. Then you wake up and see the world as it really is. Like a journey to a place people talk about, but no one's ever seen. You're thinking about Kate, aren't you?
What makes you say that?
She bought a mirror. Sold her one last year.
Was she into using mirrors like that?
No idea. But she bought one.
Right.
Thank you. Probably be back later. So, those are Ryan's guitars, kept in a garage. Not really the best place to keep them. Ask you a couple more things, please. Does Ryan play the guitar?
Ryan? Ryan couldn't get a tune out of a radio. He's tone deaf.
Okay, so he's never tried to go professional.
If he did try, it was never going to happen.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Does Ryan play the guitar?
He tries. He does keep wasting money on them, though. I think he believes if he buys the right one, he'll suddenly turn into Jimi Hendrix. It's sad, really. I just let him play in his room. As long as he plays in there, I don't mind.
That's all for the moment, thank you. Ask about a few more things, please.
What do you know about Ryan's guitar collection?
Not a whole lot. I know he brought a guitar to one of the groups once, at the end of one of the stages. That's the only time I've seen him with a guitar.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
What do you know about Ryan's guitar collection?
I know he plays because he tried to buy one off me.
Do you play?
I used to. I used to be in a band, but I was a singer as well, so I got away with it.
Singer as well?
Yeah, I used to sing in a band every night. But sometimes it was in a pub, but usually at Rebecca's.
What was that called?
It was called Blackstone. And this guy from a record company once came to see us, and he said the band was rubbish, but that I was good. So after that, I don't think they liked me much, and then we broke up after college.
Can't hide talent.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Whoa! Whoa!
The DVD! That's all they took. It must have been deliberate. Someone clearly wanted that back. Nice and helpful of them to leave a piece of evidence behind, though. Couple more questions, if that's okay?
Do you know the shop? Have you used it?
No, but I know where it is.
That's it for the time being, thank you.
Seen this? You know the shop?
Yeah, I know the shop. I hired something from them last year, I think.
This is for a party, I assume.
Yeah, something like that.
Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, please.
Have you seen this before anywhere?
Well, I know the shop, a costume shop just outside the village.
Ever used it?
Not personally, but I think Ryan might have.
That's all for the moment. Thank you. Ask you a couple more things, please.
Have you seen this before?
No, I don't think so.
You don't recognise the shop?
No.
Is there someone else who works at Atlas? Someone who may have been there tonight?
No. There's a cleaner. Comes at strange times, but then he's a strange boy. Work experience.
As a cleaner?
Oh, we did try him in accounts, but didn't work out.
Be back later on, if that's okay. A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Seen this anywhere before?
Nope.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Yes, Jenks.
So I've been assaulted, mugged.
What did they take? The hat?
No, a DVD I found, sir.
Was it a dodgy one?
Well, I don't think so, sir, but obviously someone wanted it back. Put a bag over my head.
What did they do that for?
I've no idea. It's quite disorienting, actually.
Did you keep the bag?
Yes.
Right, we'll find out where it came from. Someone must know about it.
All right, Chief. I'll call later.
Can't wait.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Aha. Do you visit Monarch Costumes a lot?
No, I used to go in there occasionally. Why?
But you do know the shop.
Yes, of course I do.
You see, Paul, I thought you said you didn't know where this bag was from.
Well, maybe I do.
This was used to put over my head, Paul, by a mugger. Would you like to tell me something?
Are you suggesting that I had something to do with your mugging?
Did you?
You really ask the most ridiculous questions. Of course I didn't.
So why did you lie about the shop?
Well, I didn't have anything to do with your mugging, Inspector, but I might know somebody who did.
Go on.
Did Ryan mention Jason to you as a cleaner? Unfortunately, Ryan at some point told Jason that the DVD mustn't be removed from the site. So, when he saw you take it, he simply thought that he was doing us a favour by getting it back. He isn't exactly what you'd call one of Darwin's best examples.
So what's on the DVD that's so special?
All right, it was something I did myself, a little stunt I pulled to amuse the students.
What kind of stunt?
I pretended to steal from the students. I emphasize the word pretended. The students knew all about it afterwards. Everything was above board.
Steal from students? Why?
We were doing a piece about pushing the limit, so I decided I would show them how it was done. Oh, don't look so serious, Inspector. I returned everybody's things immediately afterwards. No harm done.
And when was this?
Last year sometime.
At Third Eye or Atlas?
Third Eye, I think.
And this was before or after Liam died?
Well, since you'll probably find out anyway, it happened to be on the night that Liam died, as it happens. Before you ask, no, I didn't steal from him.
Do you think it's a good idea to encourage students to steal, Paul?
I wasn't encouraging students to steal. Policemen are so literal. Life is shades of grey, Inspector. Much as the Force might like it, it doesn't divide neatly into blacks and whites. Now, if you don't mind, you're going to have to excuse me for a moment. You know where the door is.
I see he was quick enough to claim he didn't steal from Liam. What kind of stunt was that anyway? And Liam dying later the same night? It's just all a bit too suspicious. Couple more questions, if that's okay. Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, please. Thank you. Did you know about Paul's money stealing at Atlas?
Are you talking about a particular incident or just in general?
It's something he did on the course. Stunt.
And what did he do exactly?
Oh, well, he pretended to steal from the students.
That doesn't ring a bell. Paul's stunts usually involve throwing fancy dress parties with scantily clad girls or women dressed as nurses. That's his usual fetish.
When was the last party he threw?
Sometime in the summer. I didn't stay long.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Ask you a couple more things, please. What do you know about Paul Rand?
Paul the Slime.
You've obviously met him then.
Yes, I have.
What do you know about him committing a fake theft during one of the courses?
What, about him going through people's bags? Yeah, he tried that thing on me as well, weirdo.
So you were at Third Eye?
Yes. Yes, I went there for a few months after college and I left because I hated it. And I didn't know Atlas was the same thing. And I went with Simon.
Does Simon know that?
No. I didn't want to burst his bubble, so I didn't say anything.
So he doesn't know you went to Third Eye?
No.
Ah! So is that where you met Ryan as well?
Yep.
Right. What didn't you like about the course?
Well, it was stupid. They just made you do things to other people and be abusive just to prove that you could, and I absolutely hated it.
What sort of things?
Oh, just stupid things. Nasty things to prove that you could do it. It was about not feeling guilty. And it was horrible. That's why I left.
And is Simon doing all of this stuff now?
No, I think they had to stop because it was just getting ridiculous. I think somebody got arrested or something.
Very interesting. That's all for the moment, thank you. What do you know about Paul stealing money from students? Part of a stunt or something?
What, did he do that? I've never heard about anything like that. No, it might be part of the risk-taking thing, though.
Explain that.
Well, it's part of the course. You have to do something dangerous or risky, something you wouldn't normally do.
Something dangerous?
Well, not dangerous, just risky. Like saying something you wouldn't normally say to someone, or doing something unusual.
Like stealing from other students?
Well, we didn't do anything like that, but you have to tell everyone at the end of the course anyway. And you're not allowed to do anything that would hurt or offend anyone, or you're not allowed to do anything really bad. It's all pretend, really.
It seems a bit odd for a business course.
It works, though.
Be back later on, if that's okay. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind. Thank you. Probably be back later.
Jenks, what do you know?
Not much really, sir, except I've discovered Ryan plays the guitar.
I thought you were going to tell me something useful.
Well, I found out Emma was in the band, too.
What, with Rand?
No, don't think so. Not sure, actually.
Well, why don't you find out and ring me back when you've got something useful to tell me, yeah?
Yes, Chief. Sorry, Chief.
Bye-bye.
Ask about a few more things, please. That's it for the time being, thank you.
Go on, Jenks, what do you know?
Not much really, sir, except I've discovered Ryan plays the guitar.
I thought you were going to tell me something useful.
Well, I found out Emma was in the band, too.
What, with Rand?
Don't think so. Not sure, actually.
Well, why don't you find out and ring me back when you've got something useful to tell me, yeah?
Yes, Chief. Sorry, Chief.
Bye-bye.
Couple more questions, if that's okay? Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, please. Aha. That band you sang in, Blackstone. Who else was in the band?
Just a few people from college.
Including Liam?
Yeah.
Why did you say you didn't know him?
No, it's not that. I just thought you meant that I didn't know about his suicide.
Did you?
No, I was away on holiday.
When he died?
Yeah, I only knew him through the band.
She definitely knows more than she's saying. She was in a band with Liam, but didn't know about his problem? I'm not sure I believe you, Emma. That's all for the moment. Thank you. be back later on, if that's okay. Ask you a couple more things, please. Aha. So, you witnessed Paul's money-stealing stunt, is that right?
Yes.
But you weren't there when Liam died?
No.
Don't quite understand that, you see, because Paul pulled the stunt on the same night. Liam died later that evening.
I must have got mixed up.
So you don't know anything about Liam's death, even though you were there on that night?
No.
Emma. I think you better explain, don't you?
It was the stupid course, wasn't it?
Go on.
Well, we were all told to do stupid things, and then that thieving thing happened, and so...
Take a breath, Emma.
Liam killed himself because of me.
Why?
Liam had a birthmark on the side of his face. And no one would mention anything, even though we all knew it was there. And they all thought it was ugly. So I thought I'd say something, and I even asked Paul if it was okay to say it.
And what did he say?
He said he wouldn't mind. Then Liam killed himself. Liam's dead because of me.
Well, Emma, I'm quite sure you regret what you said, but I really don't think you caused Liam's death. There's always more to these things than meets the eye. It wasn't your fault.
We can't tell Simon, please.
Simon doesn't need to know. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Poor Emma. I suppose it's possible that what she said led to Liam's death, but I really doubt it. I blame the Rands before I blame her. Questions, if you don't mind. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind. Do you think Emma's criticism of Liam on that last night led to his suicide?
I doubt it helped.
Did you encourage Emma to criticise him?
I didn't encourage Emma to do anything. I merely told her what we tell every student to do, to express themselves as they want to. It would be out of order to criticize them after that, wouldn't it? However, I didn't expect her to criticize his birthmark, if that's what it was. That's a decision she took herself.
So you didn't know her well?
No, not at all.
Aha. You say you didn't know Emma, yet you bought her a freedom necklace.
I don't remember saying anything about buying Emma a necklace.
So you didn't buy her one? So you did buy her one. So that means you must have known her, and quite well too.
Stop making such a big thing about this, Inspector. Look, I've been around a few years. The clock is ticking, and I admit I have an embarrassing weakness for attractive women. It was a stupid mistake, but that's all it was.
So you're saying you tried it on with her?
No, I didn't try it on. I bought her a necklace. I'm not aware that there's a law against buying presents unless, of course, the Third Reich has been elected while I was at a bridge party. Emma was old enough to make decisions for herself. And as a matter of fact, she decided that she didn't want to be bothered with an old fool like me. So nothing happened, no mistakes, nobody got hurt. All right.
Like father, like son. No surprises there. I wonder how many students Paul has tried it on with. Couple more questions, if that's okay? Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, please. Thank you. Thank you. Probably be back later. That's all for the moment. Thank you. That'll come in handy. Don't know why I never remembered to buy one. Ask you a couple more things, please. So tell me more about this doll burning.
It's a symbolic ceremony we perform every few weeks on the course.
What's it about?
It's about burning your old personality and finding a new one, a better one.
So the dolls are...
You. They represent you from the past. Each doll has a picture of the student as a child or a teenager, and they burn the doll and symbolically destroy their old personality. It's quite simple but effective, I find.
And why did that girl shout?
Because it's an emotional thing. She's quite clearly become very attached to her doll. They do spend the first month with them. We tell them to take the doll everywhere with them before they actually go through the doll burning.
And you believe that's a good thing? Destroying your past?
Of course it's a good thing, Inspector. We're all shackled to our past, particularly you by the sound of it. Perhaps we should make a doll of you, Inspector, and burn that. What do you think?
No, thank you.
You're probably right. I'm not sure it would do any good anyway.
Can you tell me about auto-hypnosis?
Well, what would you like to know?
Do you use it on the course?
We dip into it occasionally, but it's not a major feature of the course. I would say that, well, a minority of the students know how to use it, but the majority wouldn't know, wouldn't have a clue.
It's not a requirement of the course.
No, not at all. We don't ask people to do things that they're not comfortable with. There's no bribery, no coercion. We're thinking about phasing auto-hypnosis out, actually.
What's the reason for that?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, Inspector, it doesn't actually work very well.
I didn't realize you were a musician.
Oh, well, I'm not really a musician. I mean, I dabble a little bit. To be quite honest with you, I'm far more interested in collecting guitars.
You're not in a band?
Well, I did audition. I did audition a few years ago. When I say a few years ago, of course, I mean about 20 years ago. Doesn't time fly?
What band was that?
Oh, I can't remember. Something Stone. Aren't they all called Something Stone? Hammerstone. That's it.
And you still collect?
I haven't bought a guitar for over a year. I feel I've moved on.
Do you know what this is?
Well, I think it's a bag. Is it a bag, Inspector?
The shop.
Oh, yes, the costume shop. Yes, we used to hire from them.
For the course?
Well, yes. For the course, at the end of each stage, we have a little party and we ask students to dress up or try acting out being somebody new, their new selves, as it were.
Could you explain a bit more? New selves?
One of the main elements of the course is learning how to act, how to be whoever you need to be in any given situation. I think you'll agree, Inspector, that business is about being the right person in the right situation at the right time. What it does, it helps them to detach themselves, become somebody new, pretend, you know that kind of thing. It's surprising what a little bit of cross-dressing can do for you, Inspector. You should try it.
Not at this stage. What do you know about your father's money-stealing stunt?
Oh, well, yes, that was something that Dan decided to do as part of the shock aspect of the course.
But he went too far, you believe.
He usually does.
And do you think it did have anything to do with Liam's death?
No. Liam wasn't like that at all. I mean, that was just a simple, unfortunate coincidence. I mean, Liam had his own problems, but he didn't have any problems with the money shock stunt. No.
What do you know about Emma Bowman criticising Liam before his suicide?
I was there. I witnessed it. Well, I know Emma blamed herself for his death.
Did she?
Well, she was upset and all of that, but I wouldn't blame her, Inspector. I really don't think she had anything to do with it at all.
You don't think?
Liam was a very confident person, very outgoing, very strong individual, or so it seemed. I mean, people are free to do what they like. Even something as irreversible as bumping themselves off. Sad though that is, of course.
Be back later on, if that's okay. Well, and there's the mask symbol again. Looks like someone's been trying to make a point. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind. Have you ever seen these?
It's Ryan's car. It got vandalised last year. His camera had been stolen, so I took pictures. Oh, whoever did it made a mess, didn't they?
But nobody was prosecuted for it.
Not that I remember. The insurance paid out, though.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Ask about a few more things, please. Do you know what these are?
Yes, that's Ryan's car. Another toy he managed to ruin. It was vandalized sometime last year.
Do you know who did it?
I don't believe anybody was ever prosecuted for it.
That's it for the time being, thank you. Couple more questions, if that's okay? Know anything about these?
Nope.
Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, please. Do you know anything about these?
Nope. Sorry.
That's all for the moment. Thank you. Have you seen these before?
No. Don't know the car.
Be back later on, if that's okay. Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. Ask you a couple more things, please. Do you know what these are?
Oh, yes, that's my old car. It was vandalised. I took those for the insurance company. Where did you find those?
At the pub. You know who did this?
Yes. A girl called Lisa Blint. She was on the course, very strange girl.
And why did she write the words devil worshippers all over your car?
Well, she was a very strange girl. She had a lot of psychological problems. I'm not entirely sure, Inspector. I mean, she took a dislike to the course for some particular reason. I couldn't quite put my finger on it. And she asked for a refund. I declined. And she decided to spray her disapproval all over my car.
Odd thing to spray, isn't it, though? Devil worshippers?
Well, she was a very odd girl, Inspector. Maybe she thought it was a way of getting back at us. I have no idea.
Did Rebecca know about it?
Well, yes, she did, but I wasn't about to unleash Rebecca on her. She can be quite fierce sometimes, you know. And I mean, the girl wasn't vindictive. She had psychological problems. She lives in the village, actually. The run-down house at the end of the lane. Can't miss it.
Really? Right, thank you. Thank you. Probably be back later. Could that be where Lisa lives? Run-down house at the end of the lane. That's what Ryan said, wasn't it? Is it Lisa?
Yes.
Inspector Jenks, I'm investigating an incident in the village. I wonder if I could ask you a few questions.
What sort of incident?
I'd rather come in and discuss it if that's all right with you. I promise I won't take long. Thank you. I'll just go in here, yes?
I have to go out in a minute.
Oh, look, I can come back later.
I might not be here. What did you want to ask?
I just wanted to ask you, did you know Kate Vine?
No.
Right. Well, I heard that you're familiar with Atlas, the life skills training company.
What do you want to know about Atlas?
Well, I heard you reacted badly to it.
Of course I reacted badly. So would anyone.
Now, why do you say that?
Because they're devil worshippers.
Devil worshippers?
They're making demons appear. They're tricking everybody. They're getting people to join up, then they're putting demons inside them. You can see them.
See who?
Demons.
Where could you see them?
In the mirrors.
At Atlas?
Any mirror. You can't get rid of them. They stay inside you.
So, how did you get rid of them?
I didn't.
You still see them?
I just don't look. I put all the lights on. I make sure it's all bright. I put them on when I need to look in the mirror. If I make sure everything is bright, I just see myself without seeing the other person.
Who is the other person?
She's like me, but older. It's like her eyes sink in. She's all wrinkled, with a wrinkled mouth, like she's dying. And then I realise I'm her. I'm not me anymore. I'm her. I'm sorry, I have to go now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. Do you know anyone who is interested in or involved with devil worship?
Have you met Lisa?
Which Lisa are you talking about?
Mad Lisa. Lives on her own, doesn't like mirrors.
Yeah, I've met her. You think she's mad?
You can't look at yourself in the mirror without seeing ghosts. You've got problems, don't you think?
How do you know her?
came to the farm for some eggs a couple of times, but talking to her once, that's all.
And what did she tell you?
Nothing much. Except she thought the devil was after her.
What did you tell her?
Told her the devil needs a good reason to be after you. She was just like most people, really, blind to herself, except she was more extreme. That's all madness is. Being blind to yourself.
Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Do you know anything about devil worship, Paul?
I beg your pardon?
Devil worship? Satanism?
Am I missing something here?
I heard Atlas had elements of Satanism on the course.
You are misinformed. We're a training company, we're not devil worshippers. What kind of a question is that?
So you've no interest in the occult?
No, Inspector, I have no interest in the occult any more than I have interest in pole vaulting, cheese making, or snake charming. Anything else you want to know that I'm not interested in?
That's fine, thanks.
That's all for the moment, thank you. Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Have you ever come across anyone interested in or involved with the occult?
As in black magic? No, why?
Atlas don't use occult techniques or anything like that?
Atlas? Not unless Ryan's got a secret he's not telling me about. Why, who's been talking?
Just a line of inquiry. Okay, thanks.
Be back later on, if that's okay. A few more questions, please. Thank you.
What do you know about devil worship?
Devil worship? Where?
At Atlas.
Devil worship at Atlas? No, there's none of that.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Have you ever heard about there being devil worship at Atlas?
Devil worship? No. Definitely not. Who said that?
It's just something I heard. Okay, thanks.
That's it for the time being. Thank you. Ask you a couple more things, please.
Has devil worship ever been part of the course, Ryan?
Am I correct in assuming that you have spoken to Lisa Blind?
You would be. She's been telling me all about the Atlas obsession with Satanism, Ryan.
Then if you've met Lisa Blind, then you will have worked out for yourself that she has a very vivid imagination. She also has psychological problems, diagnosed psychological problems, as a matter of fact.
So where did she get the idea that you lot were, devil worshippers?
I really have no idea. The girl is insane. She's frightened of her own shadow, bless her. She actually thinks that demons are possessing her even now. You really can't trust a word she says.
So you are saying there has never been any devil worship at Atlas?
I don't even know what devil worship is, Inspector. It's not something I particularly know anything about. I certainly don't recall anyone ever having worshipped the devil at Atlas. We even tried to help the poor girl by paying for some treatment, but she didn't want it.
Really?
It's not easy to offer someone help when they think that you're the problem.
Aha. So you used to read a lot about voodoo and satanic rituals, but you don't know anything about devil worship?
Well, obviously, I just meant we don't worship the devil. We're not devil worshippers here at Atlas, Inspector. Ridiculous.
But the point is, Ryan, that you claim not to know anything about it, but admitted you were obsessed with it when you were younger. Are you sure none of that made its way onto the Atlas course? And that Lisa isn't basing her beliefs on anything within that course?
Lisa isn't basing her beliefs on anything other than her own imagination, Inspector. Look, we do use some techniques that some students find difficult, disturbing. We encourage them to see things differently, that's all. And some people simply aren't up to that. Some people, like Lisa, that's why we introduced the aptitude test.
What's the aptitude test?
This. We ask students to fill in an aptitude test, medical history, psychological issues, that kind of thing, any medication that they have used in the past, any medication that they currently are using. Here, take a look. Basically, it's just to try and make sure that we don't get another Lisa.
Has it worked?
Well, touch wood so far, yes.
Can I keep a copy of this?
I wonder how much importance they actually give to this test. And what are they doing that's so disturbing anyway? Thank you. Probably be back later. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind. Have you seen one of these before?
No, not this one exactly, but we had to fill something similar in on the first night at Atlas. One of those aptitude tests, fitness and stuff like that.
That's all for the moment. Thank you. Did you do a test before you started at Atlas?
Oh, yeah. It was all just questions about if I had any illnesses or mental health problems or stuff like that, But they didn't actually ask for any proof, so I could have lied through your teeth on that one. Don't think they actually checked.
Interesting. Be back later on, if that's okay. Ask about a few more things, please. Do you know anything about this?
It's the aptitude test, isn't it, for Atlas? What do you want to know?
Do you know why it was introduced?
I think they had some trouble with some unsuitable students. I suppose you have to be careful who you work with.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. Couple more questions, if that's okay? Can you tell me a bit about this, please? It's the Atlas aptitude test.
What do you want to know?
What does it test, exactly?
It's a test we introduced to make sure that any students didn't have any major personality problems, skeletons in the cupboard, so to speak. We introduced it because we had a little bit of a problem with one of the students.
Lisa.
You are well informed.
And what do you think it was that disturbed her?
I believe that the course proved to be too demanding for her. We discovered that she had one or two psychological problems and she couldn't handle it.
And did you change anything else on the course apart from introducing the test?
We increased the entrance age to 21. Well, wasn't much, but it's about the only thing we could do. We didn't want another Lisa. We didn't want students turning round and suing us, did we?
Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, please. Thank you. Probably be back later.
interesting, Jenks.
Chief, I finally saw a bit of what goes on at Atlas. I walked in on a meeting. Very strange. There were several students sitting around a fire, taking it in turns to burn handmade woolen dolls.
You're hoping I'm going to say tell me more, aren't you? I'm changing my mind.
Ryan had an explanation for it, as did Simon. He claimed it was all about burning your past or something. Actually, Simon told me something interesting. He said they also use auto-hypnosis on the course.
Oh, what's that?
Self-hypnosis. Hypnotizing yourself. Apparently, that may have been what disturbed Lisa so much.
Is it dangerous?
Well, not in theory. Nobody I've spoken to seems to think so.
Well, if it disturbs Lisa so much, then it can't be all that safe, I mean, can it?
I suppose it depends on your psychological state to begin with, but I'll look into it.
Okay, keep it up, Jenks.
Always do, Chief. Always do.
You're very funny, very funny. Bye-bye.
Ask you a couple more things, please. That's all for the moment, thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind. Be back later on, if that's okay. A few more questions, if you don't mind. Thank you. Probably be back later. Couple more questions, if that's okay? Aha.
So nobody has ever been affected by auto-hypnosis, except Lisa.
Hypnosis wasn't the problem, Inspector. Lisa was the problem with Lisa. That's why we introduced the test.
But the hypnosis was the trigger, wasn't it?
Lisa arrived on the course believing we were all devil worshippers. She was nuts to start with. We didn't make her like that.
Well, as far as I can tell, Paul, you've had one student accuse you of devil worship and 2 others commit suicide. Some of your students aren't having a very good time on this course, are they?
Nonsense. Kate was enjoying every minute of it. She couldn't get enough of it.
Really?
She was full of the joys of life. Bubbly, confident, flirty.
With who?
You mean with whom?
With whom?
Pretty much everybody. Including me, as I remember.
Really? And, did you respond?
I don't get into relationships with students, Inspector. Company policy. It's not professional.
Interesting admission that Kate flirted with him. There's no way Paul would have turned down an opportunity like that. That's it for the time being, thank you. Chief, so Paul admitted that they made a few changes because of Lisa's reaction to the course, but he wasn't giving anything away. They're still all denying the devil worship. Oh, and he mentioned that Kate had flirted with him.
How old is he?
Well, he suspected she was gold digging. Says he turned her down anyway. Says he doesn't get involved with students.
Well, I wouldn't take Paul Rand's word for that. Are you sure it wasn't him trying it on with Kate?
I can try to find out.
Do that, and make sure he hasn't tried it on with anyone else either. He's a smooth operator by the sound of it, Jenks. The worst kind.
Okay, thanks, Chief. I'll call later. A few more questions, please. Thank you. Aha.
So you avoid relationships with students, except for Emma, who you tried to date.
Oh, come on, Inspector. That was a long time ago.
And what about Kate Vine? Did you try to date her or not?
Oh, don't be so ridiculous, Inspector. Kate was an exceptionally clever girl. She knew exactly what she wanted, and she knew how to get it.
You mean that Kate approached you?
It wouldn't surprise me if she was playing everyone in the group. Kate had more enemies than you'd think. She was a very, very manipulative young woman.
O'clock, it's getting late. I'm gonna have to pick up the pace if I'm gonna solve this by midnight.
I really don't think it's my place, darling.
It is your place here.
I just don't want to tell tales.
Tell him about Simon. You know what happens when you don't know
So it's going to be that kind of evening, is it?
If you play the cards, right?
Only if you deal. Problems? Hello, Inspector. See you later.
Well, isn't that interesting? Ask you a couple more things, please. The cupboard downstairs, there's a lot of unopened stuff in it.
Is there?
Prescriptions. Made out to you.
Oh, they're just spare painkillers. The chemist always gives us too many. He's a friend of the family.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind. That's all for the moment. Thank you. Ask about a few more things, please. Can you tell me a bit about the... Be back later on, if that's okay. Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Do you know what the medicine in the cupboard at the pub is for?
You'd better ask Rebecca about that. I'm not exactly sure what's in there. She tends to keep her wares under lock and key. Do you know, our wedding night was quite a surprise.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. Bit careless, Simon. Probably nothing important, but at this stage, I need all the clues I can get. Few more questions, please. Have you seen this before?
Nope. Sorry, never heard of him.
And what do you know about this?
This is Simon's. I bought this for him when we were on holiday. Has he lost it?
He dropped it.
He can't keep anything.
Thank you. Probably be back later. I think you dropped this outside. Someone you know.
Oh, this is just from some IT guy I met. I don't need it.
Enough. I noticed some numbers on the back. Do you need these?
I don't know. What is it?
1905?
Oh, yeah, that's just a pin for something. It's okay, I can remember it.
So not an offshore savings account or anything?
No, it's not important.
Is this yours?
Yeah. That's from my keys. Where did you find that?
Just outside.
Right. Oh, it must have come off when Nathan dropped my keys off. He was borrowing my car.
That's very trusting.
Yeah, I suppose it is. I am a bit too trusting, really. It's a new car as well.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Ask you a couple more things, please.
Know anything about this?
No, I don't, I'm sorry. We have our own IT chap. Lovely chap, in fact. Fat and sweaty, though. It's like a double act, doesn't it?
Have you seen this before?
No, sorry.
That's all for the moment. Thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind. Do you know anything about this?
No, sorry.
Have you seen this before?
No.
Aha.
So, you don't take any medicines except for prescription painkillers.
Well, they're not actually for me, they're Ryan's. For some reason, the chemist always makes them out to my name. He's an old gentleman.
Does Ryan need prescription painkillers?
Yes, he's got arthritis.
Really? He's young to suffer from that, isn't he?
He doesn't have it badly, but he does need medication from time to time.
What medicine is it?
I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Ryan will know.
So Ryan's the one using the prescriptions. I think I might have a word with him, work out exactly what this medicine is.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Do you know who this is? Dean Hayfield, Aztec.
Sorry, never heard of him. We have some prisoner of a sort who does our IT. Large guy. No manners.
Seen this before anywhere?
No.
When did Ryan begin to suffer from arthritis?
Ryan doesn't suffer from arthritis.
Really?
The only thing that Ryan suffers from is a pathetic inability to deal with any kind of discomfort. He pulled his back sometime last year. Since then, he's going around telling everybody he suffers from arthritis.
I thought he had medication for it.
Oh, he only has medication because his GP, who is almost as dysfunctional as he is, keeps prescribing it for him.
So you don't believe he really has arthritis?
Not at all.
Thank you. Probably be back later. A couple more questions, if that's okay.
Recognise this at all?
Yeah, he fixed my laptop.
Does he live locally?
I think so.
Seen this before?
Don't think so.
That's it for the time being. Thank you. A few more questions, please. Thank you.
Tell me about your arthritis.
Oh, you found out about that. Well, yes, I'm old before my time.
It's very unlucky to have it so young.
Well, I take a lot from life, Inspector, and sometimes life likes to give you a little bit back. I mean, it's not too bad, it's not too debilitating. It's mainly some in my right hand, some in my left hand. It's not particularly a problem. Makes it difficult to hold small things, though.
What do you take for it?
I get a prescription painkiller.
How often do you need that?
Not often, as and when. I keep some here, I keep some at home. It's not a problem.
Aha.
So, you don't keep any medicines on site at Atlas?
No.
Except your prescription painkillers.
Well, these are not available to the students.
But they are kept on site.
Yes, but they're locked away. They're kept in the storeroom. Nobody would have access.
You're sure about that?
Absolutely sure.
What are the painkillers, Ryan?
Painkillers. Just painkillers. Normal painkillers.
Paracetamol, codeine, morphine.
Well, all right, they're morphine tablets, yes.
Oh, really?
Oh, come on, Inspector. I know what you're thinking, but there's no way Kate could have had access to them.
Because they're in the storeroom.
Well, not just that. She wouldn't have even known about them, or where they were.
Sure about that?
Yes.
So it is morphine Ryan's taking. The pieces are starting to come together. Now I just have to work out how Kate got hold of it. If it was Ryan's morphine she got hold of course. Thank you. Probably be back later. Ask you a couple more things, please.
Did you know about Ryan Round's arthritis?
Arthritis? I didn't think Ryan had arthritis.
That's all for the moment. Thank you.
Did you know about Ryan's arthritis?
Ryan? He's got arthritis?
Apparently.
Oh, I didn't know. I hadn't noticed he had any problems.
Be back later on, if that's okay.
Jenks?
Not much else has happened, except I found out that Simon Thompson owns a car which he lends out to friends, apparently.
Bit trusted.
That's what I thought.
Anything else?
I'm afraid that's all I've got at the moment.
Well, keep going, Jenks. Go and quiz Thompson about that car, will you?
Will do, Chief.
Bye.
Just a few more questions, if you don't mind. Seen this before? Okay, that's it for now. Thank you. Ask about a few more things, please. Aha.
So the bike's the only way you can get to work, yes?
Yeah.
What's wrong with the car?
I can't drive the car yet, can I? I don't have my license.
Right.
I got a windfall from an insurance payout. Just figured I'd buy something sensible with it straight away instead of wasting the money.
What was the insurance payout?
It was for a laptop. It got stolen down at Atlas.
At Atlas?
Well, they didn't break in. I think they just walked in and took it. The laptop was in a storeroom, but I think the lock was broken, to be honest.
Doesn't sound like they're taking their security very seriously.
Actually, it got a lot better after that.
I think I'll check it anyway.
Must have been a very nice laptop to be able to buy a car with the insurance. Or a very cheap car. Might have to have a talk with Ryan about his security measures. Thank you. Probably be back later.
Did you know about Simon's laptop being stolen?
Yeah, because it had all my college work on it, which I hadn't backed up or saved. Not that it mattered much, but I did buy a new one. And Simon uses it now, when I let him.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Couple more questions, if that's okay?
Were you at Atlas when Simon's laptop was stolen?
Oh, I believe I was, yes. It was taken from the storeroom in the hallway.
Was it ever recovered?
No, we didn't catch anyone. We're quite exposed out here. Somebody could just have wandered along the lane, seen into the storeroom. It's not particularly secure. They could have been in and out within minutes. That's why we advise people to keep their valuables with them. You can't be too careful these days, Inspector.
Aha. So the storeroom isn't particularly secure, yet you keep your morphine tablets in there. I thought you said no one could get access to the morphine, but they could, quite easily, couldn't they, Ryan?
I didn't mean that storeroom. I meant a different storeroom. I keep them in there.
Okay. So where was it locked up?
It's upstairs. It's got a combination lock on it. Nobody could have access to it except me and Dad. Nobody.
I might have a look at that if you don't mind.
Don't mind at all.
A combination locked room, I see. Well, I might have a look round for that. See how secure and combination locked it really is. That's all for the moment, thank you.
Welcome to the Mirror Room. This exercise is all about identifying the difference between the image one presents to the world and one's real self, which lies deep in our unconscious. As you move through the network of mirrors, practice seeing yourself as a stranger. The more you separate from your persona, the more aware you will become of your true desires and ambitions. Chant with us. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself.
I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself. I am free from my image. I am free from my past. I am free from myself.
This exercise involves the use of liberation masks. You have now completed Module 1. Module 2 covers boundary testing, threshold testing, and extreme testing. Please read the notes carefully before attempting the module.
Few more questions, please.
Can you tell me what you know about the mirror room upstairs?
Oh, you found that then. Well, it's very similar to the costumes, Inspector. It's designed to help the students look at themselves differently.
And what do you do with the mirrors?
You look at yourself, Inspector. You look at yourself until you start seeing yourself as others do. And you don't see yourself as you do anymore. It really, the idea is that you can see yourself eventually any way you wish.
So why in a locked room?
To make sure you're not distracted, that's all.
How often is it used?
Not often, a few times a month. Some students find it useful, some don't.
Be back later on, if that's okay. Ask you a couple more things, please.
Do you know about the mirror room at Atlas?
Mirror room. No, I heard about it, but I think it was only for the students later on in the course. Something like that.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Do you know about the mirror room at Atlas?
Yeah.
What's it used for?
Well, it's mainly for the auto-hypnosis module. You go in and you stare into the mirror and you go into a trance. Then when you're ready, you come back out.
So you just go in whenever you want to?
Oh, no. There's certain times when you're allowed in, and only they know the combinations anyway, so you can't really get in.
You don't know the combination?
No.
Aha.
So you didn't know the combination to the locked mirror room?
Nope.
Except you'd written it down, hadn't you? This is the combination to the mirror room, Simon, that you wrote. It isn't a pin, it's a combination.
Yeah.
You see, this sort of thing makes me suspicious, Simon. What were you doing in there that you didn't want anyone, including me, to find out?
It's just part of the course, isn't it? I just wanted to go in there when I was ready.
On your own? You didn't give the number to anyone else?
No.
Simon, there was morphine kept in that room that might have played a part in Kate Vine's death. Did Kate have the number?
Yes, okay. We both went in.
Together?
We were trying to outdo each other. We both tried to morph in.
What do you mean trying to outdo each other?
It's part of the course. To see how far you can push yourself. To see if you could do something you wouldn't normally do.
When was this?
A few months ago.
How often did you try it?
Only that once. I'd never do it again.
How about Kate?
I don't know. Sorry.
So that's how Kate got the morphine. But what exactly does this testing involve? Could this have been what killed Kate? 11 o'clock. Just an hour left to solve this thing. A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Do you know anything about a locked room at Atlas with mirrors in it?
Not off the top of my head, no. I think that's a question for Ryan.
That's it for the time being, thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind.
And what do you know about Simon's laptop being stolen from Atlas?
No, I wasn't happy about it.
What did you do about it?
Ryan paid a con man to install a complicated CCTV system at twice the price that it would probably have cost. Seemed to do the trick, though. We haven't had a theft since.
Can you tell me about the room with the mirrors at Atlas? The one with the combination lock?
How did you get in there?
I was given the code for the combination.
By Ryan?
Well, nobody else is allowed to know the code, are they?
Not in theory.
So how's the room used on the course, then?
It's a meditation room where the students can reflect on themselves, literally.
And what about the CD?
That helps too. It's part of the program.
So you send the students into the room, they put the CD on, they stare into the mirrors. And how long does this last for?
Until the CD finishes or they fall asleep. What else would you like to know?
Thank you. Probably be back later. Couple more questions, if that's okay. That's all for the moment. Thank you. So James is interested in poppy pods, is he? I think he's got some explaining to do. A few more questions, please. Thank you. What can you tell me about several boxes of dried poppy pods in the greenhouse back there?
Feel free to take some if you want.
What are they for, James?
Decoration? Why?
Decoration.
There's a big market for them among the over 70s.
So what are you doing with them?
Selling them. To grannies.
Okay, James, let's just cut to the chase. Are you extracting opium from them?
Me? I can honestly say I've never done anything like that, Inspector.
Sure about that?
Scout's honour.
And who was the guy delivering them?
A friend. Someone gave them to him. He asked me if I wanted them. I said I'd have a look and see if I liked them.
You just thought you'd have a look? No particular reason?
I'm a plant scientist, that's what I do.
Have you ever sold them to anyone else?
I only got them a few minutes ago.
In the past. You know Kate's body had opium in the blood when it was found?
No, I didn't. Hey, that's nothing to do with me.
Let's hope not.
Be back later on, if that's okay. Ask you a couple more things, please.
Strange question. Have you ever known of anyone selling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? Don't think so. Isn't that opium?
Kind of. It's okay.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Odd question, but have you ever seen anyone handling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? As in, for opium? No. Though James did have opium tea once, I think.
Where did he get it from?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask. James does his own thing.
What does opium tea taste like?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
Really?
I didn't want to risk it, did I? But I went to hospital once. I had codeine and I went into anaphylactic shock. The doctor said it was an opium derivative, apparently, so.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to. Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Don't come any closer.
That man needs a doctor.
No, he doesn't.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is this?
A test.
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out. Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you?
It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Don't make any rash commitments. Well, well. You really should take more care of your things, Ryan. Is your keys, Kyle?
No.
So that's threshold testing, is it? Sticking a skewer through your hand? I could just ask Ryan or Paul directly about this, but I think I'll bide my time. See what I can do with this key fob first. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Know anything about poppy pods? Come across anyone selling them or anything?
Poppy pods? Well, don't tell anyone, Inspector, but I hear that you can make opium out of those. Why do you ask?
Doesn't matter.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Bingo. Well, Ryan, what have you been up to? Be very interesting to see how he explains this one. Ask about a few more things, please.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Poppy pod?
Ever come across anyone selling them, using them?
No.
Now, why do you think Ryan might want to give Kate a cheque for £500?
I've really no idea. Where did you find it?
Just outside.
You better ask him.
Do you think Ryan was interested romantically in Kate?
I know he has a weakness for blondes, but I didn't think it had gone so far as his offering them cash.
That's all for the moment, thank you. Couple more questions, if that's okay.
What do you know about poppy pods?
Go on.
Ever come across anyone trying to sell them or anything like that? Maybe even in here?
Not that I remember.
Be back later on, if that's okay. A few more questions, please. Thank you. Probably be back later. That's it for the time being. Thank you. Ask you a couple more things, please.
Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just a little incentive, that's all. Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
She was a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure there wasn't any other reason you might want to give her this? Personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
Thank you. Probably be back later.
Got something interesting, Jenks?
Very much so, sir. An interesting discovery in Ryan's car. A cheque for £500 from Ryan made out to Kate.
Blimey, how does he explain that?
He said it was an incentive. Apparently he'd heard she was thinking of leaving the course.
What made her so special that they were willing to pay her to stay?
Just a good student, I suppose.
Nah, doesn't add up. £500 is a lot more than an incentive, Jenks. You can buy questions in Parliament for that kind of money. Sounds pretty desperate. Keep on at Ryan about it. Oh, and get yourself another drink.
Another drink. Thanks, Chief.
I'm having one. Bye.
A few more questions, if you don't mind. That's all for the moment. Thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind. Be back later on, if that's okay. Couple more questions, if that's okay. Aha. So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment?
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment?
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
So Ryan's claiming the money was part of Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder? Or was the money for something else? Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
Go on, Jenks.
Well, Ryan claims that the money was something to do with Kate's assessment rather than being a bribe or anything like that.
I'm sure he does.
But I couldn't get any further with it, unfortunately. However, I did see someone delivering boxes of poppy pods to James Wilson.
What? Wilson's making opium as well?
Possibly. I can't get any further with him either.
Right. What's the connection between Wilson and Thompson again? I've totally forgotten my brain.
They both used to live at the farmhouse before Simon moved out with Emma.
So they've got history together. Well, we're missing something here, Jenks. Just try and quiz both of them. Find out about these poppies.
Okay, thanks, Chief. A few more questions, please. Thank you. Thank you. Probably be back later. Ask you a couple more things, please. Aha.
You and Kate took morphine in the mirror room. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allergic to opiates, Simon. Opium. You didn't take the morphine at all, did you?
Well, no, I didn't. Kate did, though.
I thought you were trying to outdo each other. That was the point, wasn't it?
We weren't trying to outdo each other as such.
Go on.
Ryan wanted me to test Kate. To see how far she would go to be prime candidate.
What candidate?
Prime candidate. It means the best person in the group, basically.
What do you mean, test her?
But you do it in pairs. One person's the tester, it's me. And the other person's the...
victim?
Well, it's not like that. It's completely consensual. It's just boundary testing. Ryan wanted me to test Kate.
Because they thought she was the best student?
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just did what I was told, okay?
Except you decided to give her morphine. To break the law.
Well, I can't change that now, can I? She didn't die of a morphine overdose, did she?
She died because she drowned. But she drowned for reasons that aren't clear.
Atlas seemed to have this all neatly worked out. If Simon's telling the truth, Atlas are lighting the fuse and then retiring to a safe distance, letting students test themselves and push themselves to their limits while avoiding all comeback. Is this what happened to Kate? Thank you. Probably be back later.
Do you know what a prime candidate is at Atlas?
Yes, it's what every student wants to be. It's the best student. Apparently you get a great high-paid job afterwards. I don't think that really happens, though.
Did you know anyone in the running to be prime candidate?
What, like Simon? I don't think they picked Simon, to be honest. Well, he's got too many morals, and you can't have both at Atlas.
That's all for the moment. Thank you. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind.
Do you know what a prime candidate is?
At Atlas, is the best student.
And what does that mean?
It means they get a guaranteed job with a very good salary. Well, that's the idea anyway.
But?
Mostly they aren't up to it.
What happens then?
They get sacked.
Be back later on, if that's okay. Ask about a few more things, please.
What are prime candidates?
The best of the bunch. The peaches.
And so what does it mean to be a prime candidate?
Success. We have a special relationship with many major international companies. We provide them with our best students. And they get an instant job.
And what do you get out of it?
Well, it's a little kickback. It's just business, Inspector.
Thank you. Probably be back later. Couple more questions, if that's okay? That's it for the time being, thank you. A few more questions, please.
Now, tell me what a prime candidate is.
You're learning a lot, aren't you, Inspector? Prime candidates are simply the best students, the ones with the most potential.
And what benefits do they get from that?
Well, they get the top job.
Which is?
Well, we have a deal with various multinationals. We train students to be exceptional, truly exceptional. And they get a wonderful top job. It seems a very simple deal.
And how do you decide who the prime candidate is? Do you test students?
No.
Did you ever, say, ask Simon to test Kate, for instance?
Oh, you've actually been speaking to Simon, haven't you? I really wouldn't trust anything that Simon Thompson says. You know, he spent the best part of 2 months trying to undermine Kate. No. Now, Simon Thompson, it really isn't my place to speculate, but if you're looking for motives, Inspector, he certainly had a few motives. More than I.
A motive to kill her, do you mean?
Now, that's very interesting, Inspector. Well, that's up to you to decide.
Aha. Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested?
She was being tested because we wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So Kate was in the running to be prime candidate?
Yes!
And did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, I did. But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference! If Simon decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
Midnight, and still no suspect, unless you count everyone I've interviewed. It's no surprise that Ryan wants to avoid any suggestion of being responsible for Kate's death, but I wonder if the man protests just a little too much. ask you a couple more things, please? Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Was Kate a prime candidate?
Well, as Ryan has probably already told you, yes, she was.
Did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, it's company policy. Leaders don't get involved.
And it covers your back, of course.
Well, nobody knows the students better than they do, Inspector. It's much better to let them just work it out among themselves.
It isn't very professional to force students to test each other to the point where one of them gets killed, Paul.
We don't force students to do anything that they don't want to do, Inspector.
So you don't force them into being tested?
No, we don't encourage anybody to hurt or offend anybody else here.
You don't use threshold testing, for instance?
No. If Simon Thompson went too far with Kate, that's his responsibility, not ours. He's the one you should be speaking to, if truth be told. I don't trust him myself.
That's all for the moment. Thank you. A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Did you know Kate Vine was a prime candidate?
No.
Be back later on, if that's okay. Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Do you know whether Kate was in the running to be prime candidate or not?
I don't, but I do think she would have been chosen just because she was, Kate.
You didn't discuss it with Kate?
No. No, she never talked about this.
Okay, that's it for now. Thank you.
How do you think you'd have reacted if you'd found out that Kate had been chosen to be prime candidate?
Was she?
I'm just asking how you think you'd react.
I don't know. I wouldn't react in any way, really. I'm not bothered. I don't think she was, though.
What makes you think that?
Well, it's just an impression I got. You know, she's a bit flaky, to be honest. She's just not really prime candidate material.
Thank you. Probably be back later. A few more questions, please. Thank you. Thank you. Probably be back later.
Hello, Jenks. Yes, I'm still up. Thanks for asking.
Chief Ryan admitted that he asked Simon to test Kate to see if she was good enough to be prime candidate, but he's throwing it all back on Simon. Says it was up to Simon about how he went about testing her.
Very convenient. What does Paul say?
He pretty much backs Ryan up. He claims they don't do any threshold testing.
Well, that's a load of horse droppings. He knows you're onto him, Jenks, which means you're getting somewhere at last. It's only taken you till midnight, but well done nonetheless. Listen, call me back. I'm watching an old movie that Christopher Lee's only just turned up, so I'll be here for another hour or so, yeah?
Okay, Chief. I'll call again.
Yeah, bye.
Ask you a couple more things, please. That's all for the moment, thank you. Just a few more questions, if you don't mind. Aha.
You say you don't endorse threshold testing, that's the phrase, isn't it?
Yes.
Except you do, Paul, because you told me that the students use that CD in the mirror room. I've listened to that CD, and it very clearly mentions threshold testing. You keep batting this away, Paul. We don't really use hypnosis. The students aren't really tested, but I am this close to launching a full-scale investigation.
Look, we get a kickback from these students, and they have to be exceptional. Of course we have to test them. That doesn't mean we do anything illegal. What do you think we do? Bump off the ones we don't like?
Well, that depends on how far you push them, doesn't it?
Well, we certainly don't kill them. Nobody here wanted Kate dead.
I'm sure they didn't. But what do you expect, Paul, when you put students under that much pressure?
She was a very, very valuable student. She was worth a lot to the business.
Really? And how much would that be?
But if you really want to know, 50 grand.
She was worth 50 grand?
Yes.
What, you were selling her?
Of course we were selling her. You don't get this, do you? We make perfect employees. Month after month. That's all we do.
What do you mean, perfect employees?
What big business needs, Inspector, more than anything else, is none of this altruistic, goody-goody crap. What we look for is people with ambition, no ethics, push, greed is good, all right? We don't deal with all this comfort stuff. The survival of the fittest. That's all there is. There's no higher purpose, no big plan. There's nothing at the end of the rainbow, except what you have and you can enjoy in the here and now.
And what do you enjoy now, Paul?
You're going to have to excuse me, Inspector. I'm a very busy man. I've got work to do.
I'll see myself out.
Lovely man, your father.
Shut the gate on your way out.
He's doing his level best to shut this place down. Get rid of him. He's a policeman. We can't just... You sort this, Ryan. You man up and you sort it. Tonight.
That doesn't sound good. Two totally morally bankrupt men are plotting to get rid of me. It's midnight. I don't have any backup and I don't even have a mobile phone. This is potentially quite bad. And what's Kyle got to do with it? I think I might make my way over to Atlas while Ryan isn't there. Maybe lock myself in.